Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Corey from Unified Masters. So today, starting out with a little smudge, back with the Palo Santo, just clearing our fields here before we go into this discussion. So let's just breathe this in. Beautiful. So today is not really much so an update, but kind of just an awareness for humanity. Kind of a clarion call for us right now as starseeds, wayshowers, lightworkers, and just human beings in general. This isn't just isolated to a certain group. But right now it is the importance of listening. Okay. It's our time to listen. So as we recognize, 2020 has been, the great change, the great shift, the grand arrival of the new, through that, the dismantling of the old structures. And what's happening right now, especially here in the United States, is that there are many different groups that are going to be affected by the collapse. So as we've seen through the course of this trajectory, with the codes that anchored in January and the constant unfoldment of the energies here and what has been dismantling. We've seen that there have been various sects, groups, races, cultures that have been affected by the change. And this is not only in America, this is worldwide. But I want to discuss the importance of us paying attention and listening through heart-centered compassion right now. There's a great opportunity for emotional clearing that occurs when you vocalize what you have gone through and you vocalize and express your pain, your tragedy, your feelings, your emotions. A lot of us, for a long portion of our lives, have had to suppress our truth, have had to suppress and hadn't known a proper way to express what it is that we need to express. And we need to recognize that right now, it's beautiful that the collective is finding their power and that the collective is finding their voice. No longer are we to be silenced as a species here on planet Earth. So because of that, it's really important for us to listen without judgment. And part of this recognition is that when you find your voice, okay, it's not always going to come out embodied. It's not always going to come out enlightened. And granted, the people that need to speak up, that are going to be speaking up, might not be seeking enlightenment and might not be seeking embodiment. They might just be looking to find a way to vocalize what they need to vocalize in the pain and the hardship that they have gone through here on the planet. And so a part of us as space holders, and a part of us as just being good human beings, is listening with heart-centered compassion. This means that when things get distorted, okay, or it comes out wrong, not holding judgment for what that person is expressing, and allowing this person to be their individuation of source and to let them express what they need to express in order to repair their lives, in order to repair their DNA, in order to clear the way for more higher light to occur. So as a result, right now we need to recognize that there are many groups that are going to be affected by what's happened. So, we started with when the bug was occurring, okay, and that was really at the forefront. We had a lot of people speaking up, including the doctors, about the truth of what the media was expressing, okay? And now, with what's going on, we're hearing another level of expression with racism. We're hearing an expression of how the controllers have been treating us, how the police have been treating the people. And so because of that, more vocalization. And granted, we are going to have people that are going to step into kind of like more of the action stuff and are going to get into handling things in their old way, and we need to allow those old systems to do what they're going to do, which I've talked about so many times, and allow that to play out. But right now, it's really important for us to just pay attention and to allow people to speak their truth. I remember when I first found my voice, it did not come out peacefully. It did not come out calmly, because there was a lot of built up anger and a lot of built up aggression and a lot of built up knowing that had been suppressed for a very long time. So when I started to vocalize, there were moments that it came out distorted. There were moments that it came out imperfect, even though we know that everything is just perfect in the orchestration. It didn't come out the way that I wanted to express it. Sometimes it came out very harsh. And at the end of the day, there was always at least one person there that allowed me to just vocalize who I was and what I was. And there's such an important part of space holding for us to just allow that person to be what they are and to express how they feel. It's a very important time for us to be able to be heard, okay? And so what happens though is that we have a lot of people and a lot of light workers that still, they know a lot and they want to express it too. And so sometimes what's going to occur is we might start to see the debate occur. We might start to see this person is getting vulnerable and raw and they're expressing what they need to express, and then someone intervenes and tries to correct them or tell them they were wrong or that they expressed themselves in a wrong way. Okay, so at the end of the day, we still have people that are connected to systems that are going to be feeding into older loops and are going to be feeding into older realities. But by us holding space and allowing that to just be what it is and allow that person to speak what they're speaking, they're actually creating room for more higher truth to come in. And part of us is holding space and sharing the light and the love with others is that our light can override all of that. You know, the higher vibrations that we are bringing through, and we are anchoring, you know, especially through very intense passageways like this month and this triple eclipse season. When we're pulling this in, when this person is expressing and clearing, this higher light and truth is coming to override and to unplug that person from what they've been connected to. So there's such a huge importance as us as space holders, but also as humanity, to just allow each other to express what they need to express. And granted, there are people that are not going to like it. There's a lot of people who have been suppressing their truth for a very, very long time. So when you express your truth, it's going to trigger something within them, and they're going to want to fight or argue, or they might, you know, collapse into their pain. And we just have to allow that person to go through what they need to go through. We're all on our individual journeys. We're all on our individual journeys, and we're all just trying to make our way back home to here. And so recognizing there's a lot of blocks right here in the high heart, in the throat, the high heart, and the heart that block this higher light from coming through. And so part of us on this journey, a big part of me and my clearing has been being able to just let up and let out what I needed to let out, whether it came out in a cry, whether it came out in a yell, whether it came out, embodied, whether it came out light encoded. There was always a need for space to be held for me to just express what I needed to express. And best believe there is many minority groups across the spectrum that need to vocalize what they've been through and vocalize their pain and vocalize their hardship. And it's important for us to just listen. Without judgment. Sending them light, sending them love, and allowing them to be themselves. Because that's when we can start to heal as a collective. And that's when we can start to unify more and come together and recognize that we're all carrying histories of trauma. We're all carrying bloodlines filled with trauma, heartache, pain, control, manipulation, and we're all just coming back to return to who we are in our true organic nature. And so we have to remove all of that inorganic crap and let it go. So, you know, we're going to see waves of people through this change that are going to need to express. People are going to wake up more and more to what was really going on to them. So we're going to see a rise in people needing help with things like SRA, you know, the ritual abuse. People that have been heavily mind controlled, people that have been heavily programmed, people that, you know, have been a slave to the health system for a really long time. We're going to see minority groups that are going to need to be heard. We're going to start to uncover more and more of what is going on. And these catalytic moments are occurring for a reason, once again, but we need to recognize that a part of the breaking of these patterns is that there's also other things that are going on behind the scenes. and a higher truth. All of this is occurring for a catalytic reason that is going to create change and create an ability for us to come together more as a civilization, to be able to come together and to be able to allow ourselves to just be the frequency and form and allow ourselves to be the light. And so recognizing that we're all going to have differences, this is our individuation of source. So we may express differently. While one person might, stand up on a podium and get on their soapbox and state what they need to say, another person may create a blog. Another person might, paint a picture. Another person might write a song. Another person might create a YouTube channel. It's going to be varied for every single person. And I think it's so important for us to just be able to allow these people to express their creation in whatever form they need to, because we're going to be able to clear this stuff out quicker by allowing this to happen. And so at the end of the day, when you hear someone speaking up and speaking out, what energy are you sending them? Are you holding judgment still? Judgment is a huge part in our collective that has created a lot of the discord that's occurring. So when we think of judgment, judgment is very much so in the lack. It's very much so in the void space. It's in the darkness when we think of the duality of creation. Judgment isn't what your higher self is. As that pure divine light that is making its way through and coming into the body to be expressed, there is no judgment for the individuation. There is no judgment for the peace to be their individual soul peace. And so at the end of the day, if we are holding on to this stuff, if we're holding on to judgment of others or judgment of self or comparison for how someone speaks up, whether it be you're putting them on a pedestal or you're putting yourself down or you're putting yourself on a pedestal compared to another individual, at the end of the day, you're actually blocking your true gifts from being able to shine through you and by you. And it's so important that when we see this stuff popping up in our spectrum, to release it, to be like, okay, I recognize that this is occurring right now, loving it with compassion, but then being able to release it, being able to express, where am I holding this in my body? Why am I holding on to this? Where does it come from? And then just allowing it to go, saying, I do not subscribe to this old narrative. I do not subscribe to this old way of thinking. It's no longer serving me, and it's no longer serving the collective. It might have served you for a point in time because it kept you separate, it kept you safe, it kept you in your room, it kept you isolated, it kept you away from being able to experience life in its true form. But now is the time to show up. Now is the time to show up in the horizontal and to be that expression of you, because that unique expression of you has a place in this world and it belongs here, just as everyone's expression holds a space and holds a particular place in this society, and it belongs here, and it has a right to be here. And so as a part of us finding that freedom and sovereignty, we allow ourselves to show up in that form and to be able to express what we are and who we are authentically, without fears of judgment, without fears of ridicule, without fears of exile. If the person wants to be weird, we let them be weird, and we hold space, and we go, hey, guess what? We're all weird. We're all here just playing the cosmic game. In reality, okay, we are not our true authentic self because we have a form. Because we have a form, because we have density, because we have a physical body, we actually aren't our true self. Our true self isn't this. We are so much more. And so even just being a human being is weird, but we are conditioned to think that this is normal. And so a part of breaking these patterns and breaking out of this shell, our isolation, our little safe room, is creating space for that judgment to be cleared so we can show up as ourselves authentically in this world and recognize that there's a place and space and time in which we have the right to be that here and now, free of distortion, free of control, free of manipulation, and free of being silenced or being attacked or being violated. We have that right. And so a part of us is being that light and form, a part of us being the space holder, a part of us creating the new. It is time for us to allow these people to express themselves and to recognize, like, hey, it's not gonna come out, every single time. I'm gonna use it again, puppy farts, rainbows, and sunshine. Sometimes it might come out a little dark, and sometimes it might get heated. You might see someone cry, you might see someone break down, you might see someone start to feel things that they've never felt before, and because of that, they may want to jump to an action step that they're not used to, which might be wanting to end their life. It might be wanting to, they might start to feel things that they're not used to. That's what I'm trying to get at. And it's tough to feel those things for a while. But a part of unpacking that script, a part of erasing that narrative, is that we need more people that are going to allow people to express this stuff and to feel safe in doing so. Okay? Safety is key. It is the foundation in which we can thrive. It is the foundation in which we can start to create change by feeling safe in our body, feeling safe in our home, feeling safe in our area, feeling safe to be able to be us authentically. It's time for us to show up as the light. It's time for us to show up as we are. We need you as you are. Filter free, without masks, as you are. And yes, we're still seeing people wearing masks. Okay. But we need to send those people love too. Because they're working through their own thing, and they're on their journey, and they're on their path, and they might not know yet fully what's going on. And so if we see that, we don't judge it. We don't get in their face and go, what are you doing? And try to shake them awake. That's just not going to work anymore. We can shake people awake by showing up as ourselves authentically and just being that. Being that here now, we show up as that. That's creating more change than going up and jerking people awake. Everyone's journey is different, so we have to own that responsibility of being ourselves, that responsibility of being the soul here, of being the light here, and the responsibility to uphold ethics and morals. And it's not like we are upholding ethics and morals according to some agenda or according to what New Age tells us or according to what this one teacher tells us. No, it's all about you. What is right for you? For the greater good of yourself and for the greater good of all. Because at the end of the day, it's just you and me. One showing up in different ways. It's all about just one thing. We're just spread out into many different shapes, forms, and sizes. And that's why it's very important for us to show up as that individuation in the collective and to make that energetic imprint here, to leave our carbon footprint, That's how we create a legacy. That's how we create change, is by showing up as ourselves. Showing up as someone else is not going to create change. We're just creating copies. We're creating clones. We don't need more clones. We need more of just you showing up as you. Just as long as it's not harming other individuals. Just as long as it's not harming yourself. And it's fueling expansion and not collapse. It is so important for us to completely expand as much as we can right now. And just show up as that. Show up as the sun, show up as the moon. Show up as the trees, show up as the stars. Show up as you. Show up as the alien. Show up as the elemental. Best believe there are many different groups, physical and non-physical, who have been affected by what has been going on here in this density. And so it is imperative that we allow those groups, those beings, and those people to feel what they need to feel as we start to build those connection points and start to build relations with one another, interrelations and relationships with one another. A lot of this is that we are going to have to be rebuilding our ways of communicating, our ways of expressing to one another, and our ways of connecting. This is all new. And so part of that is that a lot of it hasn't been written yet. And we're going to have to discover that. What is it like for me to express from the heart? What is it like for me to express my truth? Which means that sometimes I express heart-centered truth and it triggers off someone else, or it's not going to make everyone happy. But how can I express it in such a light-encoded, loving, heart-centered way that it creates change from the micro to the macro? How can I, there's 2 points on the map. How can we build the bridge and connect those 2 points? Whether it be the neural pathway, whether it be the energy body to the physical body, whether it be the light body, whether it be between two souls that are thousands of miles apart, whether it be from the huge controlling political faction to the homeless guy on the street. How do we build that connection to where everyone can express and be heard as one? And that's going to create all of us collectively one-on-one, serving our roles and expressing our truth. And then recognizing that there is going to be a time for space holding. So how do we hold that space? In silent, heart-centered expression. We don't overtalk. We don't interject. We allow the flow to occur. We don't create a blockage in their expression. We don't intervene and block them from expressing. We, being silent and heart-centered, are going to speak so much more than if we interject in someone's expression. How do we lift them up, not put them down? Really great thinking points that we all need to reflect on during the times in which this is occurring. And this is from, once again, the micro, the macro, and from the very close up to the very far away. So part of this is when we see someone expressing their truth on TV or on a YouTube channel, what energy can you send them to help to lift them up? Is it putting your hand over your heart and just saying, I'm sending you love and light? Is it sending them like a nice message? Is it triggering something off within you? If it is, what is it triggering off? What's going to be the healthiest way for you to resolve that? The choice is yours. We have choice points. And these choice points are going to show up every single moment of the day for us to be able to call forth more of that higher reality stream, to be able to call forth more of that embodiment, to show up more as that golden presence, as that illuminated presence, as that purified, true, organic presence. And so the choice is yours. You know, the name of the game now is free will. So free will means that here you go. The choice is yours. No one's making choices for you. But there are those of us that show up as the frequency of form, as guides, and we go, hey guys, here's how we could do things better, and here's my way of being able to express that. And there might be another person that expresses it just a little bit differently, and there's another person who has another perspective on it, and we all have this multi-dimensional approach to put all the pieces together that are solving this puzzle right now. And then also recognizing that this puzzle's already been solved, this present moment is actually past tense because we're diving into the quantum. It's just that now some of us have created enough space for this light to come forward and to be able to express in its true authentic form. And so, how do we show up? How do we hold space? How do we express today? It's time for us to listen and to pay attention. Every voice here has a right to be heard, and every voice has a right to be expressed in its own true, authentic form. And so because of that, I'm creating a group. We're creating a free group, and it's going to be called Tuesdays with Corey. I just came up with that name, and I think it's really silly. And there's a reason for it. So anyways, Tuesdays with Corey. It is going to be Tuesdays. I haven't figured out a time yet, but it's going to be an expression group where you just come in and we're just going to chat. It's going to be like kind of like a group circle. Everyone will get a couple of minutes to express what they need to express. It's going to be free of judgment and free of distortion. So I don't want it to turn into like a big like venting contest, but I want people to feel safe in being able to express what they need to express. And I definitely need people to hold space as well. So if you're really good at holding space and really good at expressing at the same time, definitely come out. It's going to be free. I just need ideas for times because I want to see who's interested, as I don't want to leave anyone out because I know we're all across the map and I've got a lot of subscribers that aren't in the United States, and I would like to cater this to as many people as possible. So in the comment section, if you can leave a time frame of when this would be good for you, please let me know and we'll get it rolling, and I'll get the room created by Tuesday, and we'll all just come in and figure it out. There's no plan or formula. I love flow, so I don't plan anything out. Excuse me, we got the gardener outside. But sending love to the gardener and hoping he quiets down. Look at that. It works every single time. No, wait. Anyway, so it's going to be Tuesdays. No time frame, no formula, all flow. So, yeah, let me know what time you'd like to see this occur, and we'll see what the average or the median range is and be able to create an applicable time for everyone. And while he continues to go, I'm just going to Send some energy out there. Some heart-based love and truth and clarity. And yeah, it'd be lovely to have people come out and be able to create a group where we all can just meet up and express what we need to express. You know, the idea is that I'm just kind of the moderator, and so this is an opportunity for people to come out and to help others too. So if you want to suit up and show up and, you know, you hear someone who's going through something, you might have some good advice to give them. You know, this is an opportunity for people to co-create with one another, a co-creative healing space. And so for that, it's a co-creative healing space. So if you come out and, you know, start to get into arguments or start to, you know, talk about certain things that are, you know, just not conducive to the group, you will get booted. I'm very stern in the creation of sacred space for people to be able to express. And so for that, there's going to be unlimited spots open. Like I think I cap at 500 people. But granted, we could not get 500 people to all speak their truth in one night. We'd be there as a marathon meeting, and it would take way too long. So I will have to cap it at probably like 30 people. And we're just going to go until we go. It's not going to be recorded. I want to keep things anonymous, but this will be like a video chat session. So if you feel comfortable showing up on video, you are more than welcome to do so. If you want to show up as audio, you can show up as audio too. But just, you know, recognizing that this will be a sovereign space, a free space for us to connect, to create friendships, to create memories, to create change. You know, of course, I am an energy worker, so we will be moving energies. We will be doing, you know, activations, whatever I'm called to do in the moment. There's not going to be anything set in stone. But I wanted us to create kind of just like a little safe space to come in, to chat, and to check in. I mean, right now we're all going through our own individual journeys and our individual healing processes, clearing processes, repair of our DNA processes, however you want to formulate it, however you want to, you know, express that. So this is just a safe expression. Tuesdays with Corey. It's going to be Tuesdays sometime. I just want to get kind of a little community roundup on what time would be good for everyone. So anyways, I love you all. I'm actually going to go into a light language activation now to help us to be better space holders, but also helping us to be able to vocalize our truth more. And so with that, I invite you all to just close your eyes if you want to join in on this, and begin to just drop in the heart space. So I am just getting the Palo Santo ready to cleanse this space. So with your eyes closed, I want to command you to breathe in love and light, and just exhale any density you picked up throughout the day, throughout your travels. As I extend this smudge to your multidimensional connections and your multidimensional and interdimensional spaces, just clearing, cleansing, aligning, and balancing the field. So we're just going to begin to drop in the heart. As we now connect above and below. And open ourselves to receiving this divine truth through this soul communication, to be able to hold better space, see through the eyes of compassion, removing all judgment of truth, and just allowing ourselves to be able to be more expressive in our vocalizations, embedding light into everything that we speak. Korashni hati kiama. Solachi ondani kia koa. Kane kia le kia koshno sora tewa. Kotani mehia la tawe chukame. Shawe karuna he wakalu harusulat. Chiwahane akoma kawe ki utuna. Tawe tisizi ikiampua. Shuwasi alate. Tamo kame a kawi a kia tua. Kiu sahanu o kameti. Chuahati kamukwa. Mi toa tale a tawati. Saruka mi toa. Yawatama mamahau kawi a no achitata. Shatiki tiki kawela kuna ri tamo tareana saliache. Kalimahi a toa. Kawi kiu. Kurali samu wale santi chisi hikiawe kimua. Chutawe hale amavu kawe. Tawe okoma chutua sawe hakia maka. Takazezi kambu ni ate. Kalea tumachi with dizi alawu kwanewa. Suhanewa she ataua. Kurawea puma. Vitale wasewa. Chuki kwani kiua. Kukwani kikaliwa na kumalaputa. Shawe tezihi lea suhuma tewa. Charukale ya towa ne kampua kaka. Kuwai. Amoraki amoraka. So with that, I invite you to start coming back into the body. Wiggling your toes, wiggling your hands, feeling safe in the body, feeling safe here now. To come back, and when you're ready, open up your eyes. So I just want to remind you that you are loved and you are heard. And it is safe to express what you need to express. Because once again, you might be seeing things occurring around you that don't feel so safe. But the reminder to you is that there's a higher light that is overriding this, and that these collapses that are occurring need to occur, but it's creating space for more of that new to arrive. So it is safe for you to express what you need to express. And finding that voice and finding that safe expression for you and having someone be able to hold space and create that safety net for you is going to be very important as you discover that for yourself. So find that space holder, whoever it might be for you, whether it be your dog, whether it be a tree, whether it be Gaia in some way, shape, or form, just like the tree, whether it be the stars, the moon, or it's another individual, or it's a therapist, or it's a healer, or it's, a really good friend. Whatever it might be for you, find that safe space that you can get into and be able to vocalize this and be able to release all of this stuff that you need to release during these times and during these catalytic events. It's really important. And even more important, it's important for us to listen. So if you have someone who's asking you to hold space, take some time to prepare, connect yourself to the light, show up as your I am infinite creator presence, release all judgment, and just allow this person to release what they need to release. Especially since we've got Mercury retrograde coming up, best believe some of us are going to be hearing from people from the past. And you have a choice though too. You have a choice to say no to the past returning, but also you can have a very important position in someone's life by holding space and allowing them to just release what they need to release and to help create a new life for them by allowing them to just let go of what they need to let go. It's not your responsibility, but it's a beautiful role to hold in being a space holder. So I love you all unconditionally. I'm going to disconnect now my energy from that. May this meet you with love and light. And once again, please comment in the description box or in the comments below what time would work for everyone for this Tuesdays with Corey little show up energetic space holding session where we all can vent or have fun, shift some stuff up, transfigure some old reality streams, transfigure some narratives from our body and from our field, or just be able to just show up and know you're not alone. You don't have to come in and talk. I would love for you to be able to express, but if you just want to show up and know that you're not alone and just listen, you're welcome to do that as well. So please, leave a comment with what time frame works for people that are interested, and I will send updates on here, on the community platform for the links, and try to get like a little core group going to do this. So I love you all unconditionally. Let's just continue to love. Let's continue to do what we can to stay in our joy. And that means that if we have to shut off the world for a little bit to recenter and to refill up and to focus on that self-love, do it. It is so important right now, okay? Just know that you are needed, you are wanted, you are heard, and you are safe. So I love you all unconditionally. Much love and respect to all of you out there. And with that, I will see you all on the other side. Namaste.